Hi, welcome to the part 2 of current affairs between 21st and 27th August 2023. Let us have a look at the news of Chandrayaan 3. Since this has been in news recently quite a lot, it's highly likely that any exam in the recent future will have many questions from this. So please make sure that you pay attention to this. India became the first country to land a craft near the South Pole. And why? Why is the South Pole important? First of all, the South Pole of the moon does not receive much sunlight. And secondly, the moon stopped evolving after 2 billion years. See, you have to understand this in the context of how the solar system came into being. It is said that the solar system is around 4.6 billion years old. So, if it is said that the moon stopped evolving after 2 billion years, it means that the South Pole is a very pristine region. Pristine, matlab very pure. It has had almost 2 billion years of uninterrupted existence. Just imagine that you have a jungle which has not been exposed to any human interference. So, if you want to know something about Earth, it is best that you approach such a region, right, to any studies. So, similarly, the south pole of the moon is a very pristine region and it has had almost 2 billion years of uninterrupted existence. So, south pole is very important to understand moon. And the scientists believe that it can have unexplored reserves of frozen water. So, this is another reason. These are three reasons why south pole is very important. Then since Chandrayaan 3 has soft landed on the south pole of the moon, it is said that this opens up possibilities of using moon as a takeoff point for future planetary missions. For example, if India wants to send missions to Mars or to Saturn, what they can do is, instead of launching the mission directly from Earth, they could send it to moon first and then launch it from there. Now, I am not sure that this received a lot of coverage in the news, but this is important. The Chandrayaan was launched by the LVM-3, that is the Launch Vehicle Mark III. This was previously known as GSLV Mark III. This is important. And the Launch Vehicle Mark III is a new heavy lift launch vehicle of ISRO for achieving a 4000 kg spacecraft launching capability to GTO. GTO is Geosynchronous Transfer Orbit. They have a 4000 kg spacecraft launching capability to GTO, and that too, this happens in a cost effective manner. Okay, let us approach two things here. First of all, it is cost effective. That is very important. That is one of the main reasons why it is possible for India to help other countries launch their satellites at a much cheaper rate. So it improves the business for ISRO as well. Then second thing, the geosynchronous transfer. What do you mean by geosynchronous? Just imagine that wherever you're standing, right on top of your head, there is some object, okay, or a balloon, like right on top of your head, but around 1 kilometer up there in the sky. And imagine that all throughout the day, as the earth is rotating and rotating, and you can find that at any point in time this balloon is right on top of your head. So if for instance, if India were to send a geosynchronous satellite, at all times of the day, this satellite will be on right on top of India, even though India would be rotating. Do you understand? As the earth rotates, so does India move around, but the satellite would be right on top. Similarly, the LVM-3 is used to launch spacecraft into GTO, that is geosynchronous transfer orbit, in a cost effective manner. Okay. Now this is also a 3-stage launch vehicle. This is all that you need to know as of now. You don't need to know about the solid. See, actually this has three types of fuels. One is the solid, then second is your liquid, then third is your cryogenic. Cryogenic refers to storing some gases such as nitrogen or oxygen or hydrogen in that liquid form. But for this to happen, they have to be stored in very, very, very low temperatures, like minus 150, minus 180, something like that. Okay, that is cryogenic, but they are very good fuels. Okay, you don't need to know beyond this at this point for LVM3. Okay, now soft landing is a term that you have come across recently, right? What do you mean by soft landing, and how is it different from any other sort of landing that is possible? See, soft landing is the landing of any kind of spacecraft, aircraft or rocket which does not result in a significant damage to the vehicle or its payload. So this Vikram lander, it landed in such a way that there is no significant damage to it. So that is what you call a soft landing. This is as opposed to a hard landing, or when it is not possible to navigate it properly and it just crashes against the surface, which leads to the destruction of the vehicle or its payload. I hope this is clear to you. Now, at present, right now, we have 6 active lunar orbiters. The moon has 6 active lunar orbiters and 2 operating rovers. We know that we have India's Pragyan on the South Pole. Then the second one is, first one is this, India's Pragyan on South Pole. That's the first rover. Then the second one is China's Yutu-2 rover, and that is released by Chang'e 4, which is operating on the far side of moon. See, Chang'e, this word, it refers to the moon goddess. That is the word for Chinese moon goddess. So whenever they have the moon missions, recently they have been naming them Chang 1, Chang 2, Chang 3, etc. So the one of the operating rovers right now is China's Yutu-2 rover, which was released by Chang'e 4, and that is operating on the far side of moon. India's Pragyan is working on the South Pole. Okay, let's have a closer look at the current thing, Chandrayaan-3. It has a lander named Vikram. See, over here you find the Vikram lander, right? The one with the 4 stands, that is the Vikram lander. And a rover named Pragyan, similar to those of the Chandrayaan-2 mission. Matlab, Chandrayaan-2 mission also had a Vikram lander and a Pragyan rover. These names were also the same, Vikram lander and Pragyan rover. See, over here I need to move this, see, but it's not very clear. Over here you can find the Pragyan rover. It has 6 wheels. This is where you find it. It has, see, I hope this is clear to you. It has 6 wheels. Okay. And since Vikram has landed successfully, August 23rd, that is the day on which it descended on the moon, it has been declared as the National Space Day, August 23rd. Okay, now let us move on to the next one. The touchdown point of the Vikram lander, that is the place where Vikram lander touched down on the moon, that has been named as Shiv Shakti Point by our Prime Minister. And this lies between Mancinus Sea and Simpelius N craters. You need to know this. The Shiv Shakti Point is between Mancinus Sea and Simpelius N craters. See, you can find that another place is near this only. The place on moon near the lunar south pole where Chandrayaan 2's lander Vikram crashed. That has been termed as the Tiranga point. So you have a Shiv Shakti point, that is Chandrayaan 3 wala point, where it touched down and it had a soft landing. That is your Shiv Shakti point. Now the point where Chandrayaan 2's lander crashed, that is your Tiranga point. And that also lies between Mancinus Sea and Symbelius craters. This is important. Then you have another one, a Jawahar point, which was not in the news recently, but it is still important that you be aware of it because it is another place that India has named. The Jawahar point or the Jawahar Sthal is a region near the Shackleton crater. Shackleton crater, you need to know that this was named after an Antarctic explorer, Ernest Shackleton. So our Jawahar point is near what? The Shackleton crater, where the moon impact probe struck the surface of the moon in 2008 after it was released from India's first lunar orbiter mission Chandrayaan 1, and this also happened in the South Pole. So you can see that India has had an interest in the South Pole since long. This happened in 2008 where our moon impact probe struck the surface of moon in 2008. That is your Jawahar point. I believe this had a very hard landing, not ending, hard landing. Okay, now in the news we have seen quite often that India became the fourth country to have a successful soft landing on moon, right? Now let us look at which all countries have achieved this and when. This is very, very important. Okay, see, as you can see, this is a list of successful lunar landings and some important milestones with regard to lunar missions of the world. In 1959, Russia became the first country to achieve a successful landing, and that happened through Luna 2. 1959, Russia became the first country to achieve a successful landing. But mind you, does it say successful soft landing? No. So, that happened when? In 1966. The first landing in 1959, followed by the first successful soft landing by a country that happened by Russia, and that too in 1966. A few months after Russia achieved this, USA achieved the same in the same year, and they became the second country to achieve soft landing. For quite some time, it was just Russia and US who had this supremacy over lunar missions, or not just supremacy, I would say. They had any sort of lunar missions majorly happened from either Russia or from USA. You can see that in as early as 1970, Russia retrieved samples of the lunar surface through an unmanned mission. Russia retrieved samples through an unmanned mission in 1970. Important. Now, coming to the third country to have a successful landing. That happened in 2013. China ventured, and that too Chang'e 3 lander's landing. This was the first landing since Russia's Luna 24 landed in 1976. So just imagine, after 1976, the next landing in moon occurred only in 2013. That's quite a long time. And that happened by China. So first was our Russia, second is USA, then third China, then next. See, even though I've marked 1 for Russia over here for 1959, that is just the successful landing, not the successful soft landing. Russia also achieved successful soft landing only in 1966, the same year as that of USA. Please note it, okay? These are very, very important. Now, coming to the next part. In 2019, China's Chang'e 4 achieved the first soft landing, and that too on the dark side of moon. So this happened in 2019. First soft landing for China happened in 2019. First soft landing for USA happened in 1966. First soft landing for Russia happened in 1966 as well. Then comes India. India attained its first soft landing on the South Pole in 2023. So here is the list. I seriously hope that you take note of all these important details and memorize them. Okay. Now we need to look at some of the popular national space agencies, because we can, as we see in the news, the number of space missions or lunar missions are going to increase. We have so many upcoming missions for this year as well as next year. So you need to remember all of these, not some, all of these. The National Space Agency of Russia is called Intercosmos. You're already familiar with that of USA, it is NASA. For China, it is CNSA. India's ISRO, you already know. Japan's National Space Agency is JAXA. And then you have your European Space Agency, which has around 22 European countries as members. And I believe Israel has also recently joined it, though it is not a part of Europe. This is to be noted. As of 2022, as of last year, USA has had the highest number of soft landings on the moon. Highest number of soft landings on the moon by USA. And USA, it remains to be the only country to have landed humans on moon. This is important. Highest number of soft landings by USA, and the only country to have landed humans on moon is also USA. Now, we have to look at the other lunar missions undertaken by India and by other countries this year. Those which have already happened and those which are about to happen. Okay, because in addition to pointing out the achievement of ISRO with regard to Chandrayaan 3, it is also important that we know the others who are also competing in the same sector and the name of these important missions. Okay, so far in 2023, these are the three ones which have already taken place. India's Chandrayaan 3 has turned out successful. We already know this. Russia had sent out Luna 25. However, this suffered a glitch and it crashed on the moon surface. So, Luna 25 by Russia has already crashed. Then, Japan had sent a mission to the moon by the name of Hakuto R. Hakuto R. See, there's a spelling mistake here. Please don't mind. The lander failed to make a landing. The lander failed to make a landing. See, if this Hakuto R were successful, then it would have been the world's first commercial soft landing on moon. World's first commercial soft landing on moon. However, did it succeed? No, it failed to make a landing. Now we have some upcoming ones. We have 4 upcoming lunar missions for the year 2023. USA has 2. Those are, first of all, Commercial Lunar Payload Services, CLPS. This aims to allow rapid acquisition of lunar delivery services from American companies for science, exploration or commercial development. What does it mean? It means that they are trying to improve delivery service. So whether it is to study science or to explore the moon or to start commercial development of the moon. For these purposes, there should be rapid delivery to the moon, right? And that is what this aims to achieve. So you can imagine, we are way past the time where humans have been restricted to Earth. We have arrived at a time where we are even contemplating commercial development. What do you mean by commercial development? Commercial development can mean mining. You explore their natural resources. You want to set up settlements there, something like that. Okay, So we are that far ahead. Humanity is that far ahead. Then that is the first one, commercial lunar payload services of USA. The second one is the second lunar mission is Lunar Trailblazer, which is an orbiter. It would orbit the moon. Then the other two, the two we've already discussed, the two by USA. Now we're coming to the other two. China is planning to send a lunar communication and navigation satellite constellation. So they're already setting up communication and navigation satellites constellation at moon. Then by Japan you have a smart lander for investigating moon, which would be an orbiter or a lander mission. SLIM, this is very easy to remember. Smart lander for investigating moon by Japan. Now, in addition to these lunar missions that we discussed were scheduled for 2023, we have some which are scheduled for the next year, for 2024. Let's have a look at them. Bereshit 2 by Israel. Then you have Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover or Viper by USA. Then China's Lunar Exploration Program, which will be sent as part of Chang'e 6 lunar mission. That is by China. Then from Japan you will have Hakuto 2nd. Please keep all these in mind. You need to know the names. Now let us just have a look at the India Smart Cities Award Contest 2022, the results of which were announced recently. This award or contest is organized under the Smart Cities Mission, and the Smart Cities Mission is coming under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This is under which cabinet minister? Hardeep Singh Puri. Over here you can find his photo. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. See, there are some other popular schemes under this ministry, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, in addition to the Smart Cities Mission. They are, first of all, National Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana, or the Hriday. See, we will just pay a quick look at these. Hriday was launched in 2015 and it aims to bring together urban planning, economic growth and heritage conservation in an inclusive manner to preserve the heritage character of each heritage city. And it has how many identified cities? 13 identified cities. 13 identified cities. And it plans to bring together what all? Urban planning, then economic growth, and heritage conservation. Okay, now coming to Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. This also was launched in 2015. It has three purposes. First one, to ensure that every household has access to tap with assured supply of water and a sewage connection. So tap, and you have what all? Supply of water. Then you need to have sewage connection. Then what is the second objective? Second objective is to develop well-maintained open spaces and greenery such as parks. So greenery or parks or open spaces. And then one more. Reduce pollution by switching to public transport or constructing facilities for non-motorized transport. That is, when you say, either they're trying to promote public transport or they're trying to promote things such as walking or cycling. you could say public transport. But it also includes walking and cycling. And under this, see, under Hriday, we know that 13 identified cities were covered, right? Under Amrit, we have how many? We have 500 cities which will be covered under Amrit. Now coming to the Swachh Bharat mission. Swachh Bharat mission it was launched in 2014, while Amrit and Hriday were launched in 2015. Swachh Bharat mission was launched in 2014. First of all, it aims to eliminate open defecation. Eliminate open defecation. Then which other objective does it have? Then improve solid waste management. Solid waste management. Then increase awareness of menstrual health management. Awareness of menstrual health management. Pardon the handwriting, please. I know, I hope it is legible, if not pretty, Okay, now let's have a closer look at the Smart Cities mission. You can see the logo over here, right? The one with the butterfly and all. Yeah, that's the official one. Smart Cities mission was launched in 2015, and it promotes cities that applies smart solutions. Say they want smart solutions for things such as providing core infrastructure. Core infrastructure would mean providing the basic drainage facilities, your basic electricity lines, your water supplies, your proper roads and everything. Infrastructure refers to the basic framework that is required for any system to function properly. For that, you're talking about your social amenities, drinking water, public washrooms, your proper connectivity, road connectivity, electricity and all that, and proper buildings too. Then giving a decent quality of life to its citizens, and then give a clean and sustainable environment. So infrastructure, decent quality of life, and clean and sustainable infrastructure. And under the Smart Cities mission, 100 cities would be covered. See, when in these awards, they judged Indore in Madhya Pradesh as the best smart city in the country for 2022. Then after that comes Surat. Surat is in Gujarat. After that you have Agra. Okay, Indore, Surat and Agra. Easy to remember. Then the best state. See, this was the best smart city. This was just city. City is Indore. Now coming to the best state for exemplary performance in smart cities. Exemplary matlab बहुत बढ़िया. Exemplary performance in smart cities mission. The first place obviously goes to Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is where Indore was. First place goes to Madhya Pradesh. After that comes Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. This is noteworthy because even in this you don't find any places from South India or any other part of India for that matter. When I say any other part, I mean the extreme parts, the southern tip or even the eastern part. No, it's not represented here. So rather what you have, just a minute. Yes, now yes, now what you find over here is that Tamil Nadu finds a place here. And this is in second position, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan and then Uttar Pradesh. Now the last thing, the best union territory is Chandigarh according to these awards. We'll stop part 2 here. Thank you.